Hey guys, we did geometry in states, flowers, flags, and more, and I'm Isabel.
I'm Kaylin.
I'm Jessie.
And I'm Leah.
So first, I want to say our objective is students will be able to recognize and analyze geometrical patterns in state flowers, flags, and more. We're going to start out with a intro video and just to get your guys' brains working and see where it goes from there. So now we're going to have you guys try out. So grab your whiteboards and see if you can make a geometrical flower with 1 square, 3 triangles, 4 kites slash parallelograms, and 5 circles. Go ahead and try it out.
Okay, so we broke it down by state. So the first state is Maryland, and the state flower in Maryland is the black-eyed Susan, which symbolizes encouragement and justice. So the geometry in the black-eyed Susan is rotational symmetry because the petals are rotated around the black center. So then here's my interpretation. I made a black-eyed Susan on Geometry Sketchpad. So I made a isosceles triangle and I rotated around the center point, and I did that by 30 degrees because the petals are pretty close together, and then I added some more black dots for the center. So this is the Maryland state flag, and it bears the arms of the Calvert and Crossland families. So the flag itself is a rectangle, and there's 2 sections, the yellow and black and the red and white. So in the yellow and black section, there are parallel lines and there are parallelograms. And then in the red and white section, there is reflectional symmetry, and there are vertical angles in the matching colors, which are congruent. And then finally, the state animal is a blue crab. And the blue crab has symmetry, and it has reflectional symmetry because one half of the crab is exactly the same as the other half, and people in Maryland love their crabs and they like to eat them with Old Bay.
Alright, so I did the Hawaii state flower. Fun fact, the hibiscus is edible and has a tangy, citrusy taste. In the hibiscus, you can see rotation because the flowers, or the petals of the flowers, are seen in rotation because the petals are the same as each other and they are spinning around an axis. You can also see tessellation, even though this flower is not a perfect tessellation because they overlap in certain areas. But if they didn't overlap, then it would be a tessellation because it wouldn't have any overlaps or gaps. All right, and then the Hawaii state flag, you can see perpendicular lines right here in the middle, which form a right angle. You can also see parallel lines, and because the lines are perpendicular, they form a right angle, 90 degrees. The perimeter of a rectangle can be found by adding all of the sides measurements up. So you can do 7 plus 7 plus 3 plus 3. This can be done through the metric system. To convert in the metric system, you move the decimal point to the right or to the left, depending on if it is going higher on the metric scale or lower. The Hawaiian state marine mammal is the humpback whale. You can see reflection in the whale's tail right here. And then you can also see an acute scalene triangle right here in the whale's side fin, as well as parallel lines on its back.
And then, so I did Florida, and its state flower is the orange blossom, shown right here. It's not the actual orange. And a fun fact about Florida, it is the flattest state in the U.S., and that means that it has the smallest difference between the highest point and the lowest point, and that difference is 345 feet, and that's the mean elevation of 100 feet. So moving on, my GSP for the orange blossom is right here, and I basically just created a circle and then rotated this acute triangle around by 60 degrees all the way around to create 6 identical leaves or petals. And then for Florida state flag, it has a circle in the middle, which you can see that circle has a circumference and then a diameter and a radius. And then here are the formulas for circumference, C equals 2 pi r, and then the formula for the area of a circle, which is area equals pi r squared. And then the red crisscross lines in the flag are intersecting lines, which means that they touch at a certain point, which is the middle. And then if you look at the angles, it also has vertical angles, meaning angle 1 is identical to angle 3, and angle 4 is identical to angle 2. And then just a quick question for you guys. There's also supplementary angles. Can you name them? So go ahead and try that. Okay, moving on to one of the many state animals in Florida is the American alligator, and it has a vertical symmetry right down its entire body, which means that it basically has this, or it has the same teeth on each side, which is kind of scary. And then also the alligator has scales that create tessellations all over its body. Shown in the picture, you can see it has a tessellation of 4, which is like 4, 4, 4 around a common vertex. And then just another thing that you guys can create is this alligator tessellation. So go ahead and get in groups of 4 and then grab the shape manipulatives and see if you can make this alligator tessellation.
So I did Connecticut, and the Connecticut state flower is a mountain laurel. Fun fact, the Native Americans used to make spoons from the wood of the shrubbery. This is the mountain laurel I made on Geometer's sketch pad. I started with one petal. I made a diamond shape, and then I found that the interior angle measurement of that kite should be 72 degrees, since I know it has 5 petals and needs to add up to be 360 degrees. And then I made the angle bisector as one of the stamen, and then I reflected the design onto the other side of the petal and then rotated that 5 times around the center of the flower. Then this is the Connecticut state flag. You can see symmetry on the shield shape itself. However, the 3 grapevines, we see that the top right is reflected to make the top left, and then the top left is translated to be the bottom grapevine. In the crest, we see on one side the arc of a circle is reflected, and then it's rotated 180 degrees, and then that makes one side of the crest that's then reflected onto the other side. And the state animal is a sperm whale, made of 2 hexagonal pyramids and 1 hexagonal prism to make the head, body, and then the tail. And then we made a Kahoot for you all, so we'll go through this as a class.